So I grew up in a small town in Accra called Nima. There's a big love for sports as well. There's days they play football and you see a lot of people gather around to watch, for free. Mom, she played both roles of being a mom and a dad at the same time. She took care of I and my siblings. My oldest brother was always finding ways for me to play football, like getting me a pair of boots, because he was older and he was finding his ways to get money to do that. I had a lot of rules and was very strict. I don't really remember getting into any violent trouble or anything. Maybe skipping school and going to play football. From the school tournament, they pick out the best players and then there's like a trial with them, and then there's the best teams in Accra. That's where I think everything changed, I got picked up to Strong Tower. It's one of the biggest clubs in Nima, so playing there was like a big thing. So when I was picked there, I was like, yeah, like that was 100% what I wanted to do, There were a lot of other good talent as well, same as me, but the opportunity is a bit less. Just little things like getting the right equipment to play football was difficult, like football boots, shirts, shorts, pants, all these things have an impact on even good pitches. We have to.
I always have so much respect for players from growing up in Africa, playing on these pitches. Now they're playing in Premier League.
Absolutely,
it's mental, isn't it? When you think about it. Look, this is what they're growing up on, and compared to some of the players who come through the academy in England, they've always throughout a lot of their careers have pristine grass pitches and this is what he had to play on when he was growing up.
His journey, and a lot of players from that part of the world's journey is just incredible. You got a proper fighter's mentality, because it wouldn't have just been a straight line in terms of progression. They would have been knocked back so many times. Proper fighter's mentality to get, and he's been on the journey, hasn't he? From Ghana, Ajax picked him up, West Ham, Tottenham, and it's just. A lot of players like that just deserve so much more respect that they maybe get, and look how much money he's earning now, and he's literally come from absolute nothing to get to where he is.
A lot of players who grew up in Africa, a big wage goes back home. A big part of their wage, that's very common as well. Mourinho always said he loves to sign African players because they all got an unbelievable journey and they've all have this fight and this extra fight about them. He said, and a different part of their career. Mourinho always had a soft spot for a lot of African players.
Interesting what he said though, when he was playing in those pitches, he noticed a lot of Tottenham shirts around. So Tottenham are fairly big out in Ghana, which we've actually noticed a bit of surge in our audience from Ghana now.
I'm trying to think, any Ghanaians before?
The only one was Kevin Prince Boateng.
Kevin Prince, yes.
But I don't think he was born in Ghana.
No, I think he was born in Germany, wasn't he? I don't think he ever played for Ghana while he was at Spurs. Can't remember. But, He did play for Ghana, though. Yeah, he played. He scored in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Play on sand pitches. On a grass pitch, you automatically expect how the ball should come and bounce. But on a sand pitch, it can move anywhere, so you have to react quicker to controlling the ball. And if you can find your way through the sand with a bumpy ball and stuff like that, if you get a good pitch, it's going to be much easier. At home, I'll say Accra Folk. They were the main team I was supporting. My brother who hustled hard to get some money to buy a ticket for me to watch their game, so it's a pleasure, to be playing in them stadiums now, because I used to sit there watch the Ghana League in that stadium. As a Ghanaian, you watch more Ghanaian players and it's easier to connect to them knowing their roots. I'll say ACN because at that time he was one of the players really playing at the highest level and representing the country at the highest as well. So he had a lot of impact in young kids growing up. Messi, Ronaldinho, I just loved creative players, trying to have some flair, enjoy the game, get the fans off their feet. Denmark is really, really cold. And I think that's the coldest country I've lived in. When it was winter,
you can see that in his game.
I had a nice time there.
Obviously, he's not nowhere near as good as the likes of Ronaldinho and Messi and stuff, but that's exactly what he's trying to achieve. Just like he says, bums off seats, exciting player, running at players, tricks. So that's the style of play he wants to be.
Interesting what he says about sandy pitches can bounce anywhere, and on the grass, obviously, it's a different kind of thing, but I feel like he is one of the best players when reading understanding where the ball's going to bounce and understanding where he needs to be to like get the first touch and beat the player to
100%.
it. Because so often, you know, a long ball comes over to him, and there's maybe a ricochet, or he'll control it on his chest or something, and he'll take like a funny bounce somewhere. But he's always first to the ball in these difficult situations. I wonder, learning from kind of, for example, like the Leeds game, his goal, he knew where that ball was going to bounce when it hit the Leeds defender. He nipped in and got there first. I wonder, just that experience of having to adjust every time there's a funny bounce is really like he's reaping the benefits even in the Premier League of that kind of style, because you can see in his game like he reacts very quickly to those kind of things, a lot quicker than the opposition. I wonder if that's really helped him. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, you imagine like playing on those pitches would have dramatically helped him in that aspect. You would have thought. Anyway.
Yeah, and it seems so when you watch him.
Yeah.
For my start of football journey, you know, was nice. Yeah, going away from my family was difficult. I was a kid at that time, still homesick. The good thing was the owner was living in Ghana, so he bought the club in Denmark. So the transition, it helped a bit because most of the staff from Ghana were working in Denmark as well, you know. So ACN is working there now because they are trying to integrate Ghanaian culture so that's easier for the players when they join the club in Denmark. So it took time, and then I adapted smoothly. I think the first season I didn't really play much of the games because I was blending in slowly. After the first season I could have left, but I really wanted to smash the league, then feel like, yeah, I'm ready for the next step. So I stayed for another season, and the following season, yeah, I played everything. And
that's Damsgaard.
That was Damsgaard. They played together.
Another season, and the following season.
There he is, a young Mikael Damsgaard on the top right there.
Yeah, I played everything, and then, I conquered it the way I wanted to conquer, and then I decided to take the next challenge.
Hi, Ajax fans. This is Mohamed Kudus, and I'm 19 years old, and I'm an attacking midfielder, and I'm happy to be here. See you soon.
The way I played in Denmark, I knew I was ready for the next challenge, because not to say it was easy, but I didn't want to get complacent, you know. I had to set the next goal and the next challenge, and of course Ajax was a big club, and they were very good known for developing young talents and then selling them to bigger clubs. So I thought, why not? Because I had other chances where I could join, even the Premier League straight away from Denmark and stuff. But looking at the gap in my development, I thought it would be better to make the step in between to Ajax, get some Europe football experience, Champions League, know what it's like, and then if it's Premier League or any other top league, then we'll go next. So I made the choice to Ajax. When I started, the first 2 months was really good. Pre-season, started playing straight away, scoring, and then my first serious injury was first Champions League debut against Liverpool.
Looking to put pressure on Fabinho.
And I had my meniscus tear. Champions League was one of the stages as a kid growing up. You work hard looking to play for, and then your first game there, you get a hit on the head. That was difficult to take. Started focusing just personally on me, on recovery treatment, exercises, you know. I think that's the biggest change in my routine. Since then, I think it has been good staying fit for a couple of years. After the first 2 seasons...
what he says about, you know, he was able to move out of, you know, Nordsjælland, Denmark after his first year. You know, you've seen so many young players over the past, haven't you, that move too quickly, don't prioritise their development, and, you know, it kind of definitely works against them in some stages, where he definitely prioritised his development. He's probably reaping the benefits of that now. And, you know, when he was at Ajax, how many times did we sit here, watch a World Cup, scouting reports and all this kind of stuff, being like, let's sign this guy, Mohamed Kudus.
Yeah, and he used to play really well in Champions League in Europe as well, I remember. He was a serious talent, you could see that. He's clearly got a good head on his shoulders, because obviously Ajax at that stage, great move for any young player. He knows how they have a wealth of talent development there at Ajax. But it also goes to show, you know, in these leagues like Denmark, which a lot of people write off, that's where he came from. That's where he started his career in major European football, was in Denmark. So just goes to how much talent can be found in these leagues if you look hard enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I could have left again to some Premier League teams and German La Liga, also and maybe Serie A. The league I'm playing in, I really want to know that, yeah, I've smashed it and conquered it, and then I was ready for the next challenge. So I decided to stay for the third season at Ajax. Played the whole game, played Champions League, Europa League, everything. Played the whole season fit, won the league, the cup. After that, we had to take the next step again.
Yeah, what a team.
Yeah, he was just fantastic. That last year at Ajax was his best season by far. You know, he got 11 goals in his 30 games. Or was it the World Cup that summer?
Yeah, no, in the mid-season. It
was in the mid-season. That's the year he blew up, like, because that World Cup he was fantastic as well, like playing in the middle in that number 10 position for Ghana. And I just remember sitting here watching him in that World Cup, being like, we need to sign this guy. Like, he's at Ajax, he's a gettable player, and somehow West Ham got him.
I remember saying to our uncle when they were saying, "You got a real player there. That guy's a very good player." I'm shocked that you'd be able to get him. Like, I remember when West Ham announced, I was like, no way have they just got Kudus. I remember saying it.
A league I've been interested in playing when I scored my first goal against Newcastle when I was in West Ham.
Kudus takes the touch. Oh, finds a fabulous finish.
I think that's when I really felt like, hey, this is really it.
Kudus! Oh, spectacular! A special player.
Supreme goal from a man right on top of his game.
Wow! What a goal that is.
Probably one of the reasons why West Ham are where they are this season, because he hasn't shown the form.
Because last season, apparently, his attitude wasn't good.
I just think he's a bit bored.
Being talked about almost every day on the TV, it's hard to deal with. Of people who don't even know you, literally. They just watch you for maybe 90 minutes and then there's a judgment on sometimes who you are or what you are and stuff like that, which I don't think is fair, but that's part of the work, and we as athletes, of course, we have to deal with that.
We'll get into his Tottenham move in a minute, but yeah, I think everyone very quickly forgot because last season West Ham wasn't good and he's been played out of position. There was all these narratives about him. He doesn't work hard, he's lazy, this and that. Like, everyone very quickly forgot how good he actually was in that first season at West Ham. He got, I think, signing of the season, I think, by Gary Neville and I think Carragher as well. They were saying he was one of the shining lights of the new season. West Ham had a pretty solid season as well, and he was doing unbelievable things in European football and in the Premier League.
And that goal he scored in Europe.
Yeah, ran the whole team. He was incredible in that first season. And then second season, went on for West Ham, not just for him. They were a mess. Lopetegui, Potter. It was a whole mess. It was a whole mess that season, and he was being played on the left hand side in our position, and everyone just quickly forgot how good he was in that first season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I remember speaking to like Nicky from West Ham Fan TV and potentially my uncle as well, being like, this guy ain't going to be with us for long. Like, he's that good. They weren't saying that about Jarrod Bowen. They weren't saying that about other good players that they had at the football club. They were saying that about Mohamed Kudus, because he wasn't just West Ham's best player at that moment in time. He was one of the shining lights in the Premier League. Just exciting player. Like, you couldn't believe that he was playing for West Ham because he was that good. And it came to pass the next season that he was a bit too good for West Ham, and he downed tools. That's the reality. He downed tools because he didn't want to be there. And that's not a good look for anyone, and it's particularly not a good look for him. But I guess he needs to be somewhere where he wants to be, I guess.
Yeah, he needs to... I don't know. Yeah, look, I don't think it's just about being competitive, but it's about the squad seemed fractured. No one liked the managers. Everyone was wanting the managers out. Potter was doing a horrible job, Lopetegui. So obviously they put a lot of it down on Kudus, but the whole squad was failing, and it wasn't just down to him. And he got the brunt of the criticism for some reason.
True, but then you also look at players like Jarrod Bowen, because he did keep up his standards that season. And a lot of games where they would have drawn or won, like, he was the one to like pull them through. Like, Kudus was particularly bad that season. It's got to be said.
But he also was played out of position as well.
Yeah,
like, you're playing on the left, which is just we know is not his favourite position. He's not as good there.
I still don't think it's an excuse to play as badly as he did, but he just clearly just was not happy. And when you're not happy, you know, it's sometimes hard to play your best football.
That's also true.
Of course, we have to deal with that.
I only wanted
Run
to
the track.
play the truck.
I think that's the main big factors in any club I would want to join is the project, how I see myself developing in that project, and the manager. Looking at his work at Brentford with attackers, I can name so many like Boemo, Evan Tony, Damsgaard. His development with them has been really, really massive, you know. So I thought, yeah, he would be the perfect guy to help him my development and how he wants his attackers to play as well. I think I have the qualities to play like that, and that's how I want to play. So yeah, it just fitted perfectly in my head, and it just felt right.
I'm gonna listen to your heart, okay?
You find Spurs there?
Yeah, I find it.
I love that. Every time I watch it, it just gets better and better.
It's really nice to hear from a player go into such specifics about why they wanted to play for this manager or what convinced him, because obviously it's all great to say, oh, we had a nice conversation and he sold me on a project and all these kind of things, but he was like, look at what he did at Brentford, look what he did with Bremer, look what he did with Tony, look what he did with Damsgaard. You know, he was going into real specifics about what Frank has done in the past and why he really believed this was the right club for him. And obviously there was a whole thing about he only wanted Tottenham, all this kind of stuff. But when you look at that, and look, to be fair, you look at what Frank's done with attackers and he wants to be part of that, and you look at the other choices like Chelsea and how they've discarded it. How many attackers have they discarded over the last couple of years? You know, for one reason or another. They've just discarded him. Look at what they did with Jackson, who wasn't even that bad, and they put him in the reserves, wanted him out because that's how they treat their attackers. So it's no surprise to me. He looked at this and thought, this guy can really take me on. Whereas he goes to Chelsea, they expect me to be like this ready-made finished article. Which, look, he is a very good player, but he's still got a bit of development to do after, even though he's 24, 25.
Yeah. He's nowhere near the finished article.
Yeah, he's so much more
much
off. And I think he was clever to think Frank can get that out of me, whereas at Chelsea, if I ain't one of the best wingers, if I ain't this incredible 15-goal a season striker, they're going to want me out.
Yeah.
I mean, winger. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with that. And look, I think it goes to show it's much more than just a manager though. When you move club, you're buying in to a club, a culture. Because look, we know the nature of football. You know, managers come and go very quickly, and particularly at Tottenham, they come and go very quickly. But he's buying into a development. He's buying into a football club. He's buying into everything surrounding Tottenham Hotspur. When you look at the training centre, when you're looking at the stadium, when you're looking at the Europa League champions, you're looking at playing Champions League football. I mean, it's so much more than just the manager. But I think obviously the manager was massive and probably the biggest deciding factor in his decision to join Tottenham. And I think it will only do him the world of good. Like he mentioned about the development of wingers and attacking players that he has done in the past, I expect him to bring Kudus leaps and bounds. What we've seen over the first 7 games has been mind-blowing in terms of what we needed on that right-hand side. And I think it's just going to keep getting better and better and better. I love what he's brought to the club, and I can't wait to see what keeps unfolding.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, he's been such a breath of fresh air, hasn't he?
But the Frank pool is unmatched.
A very demanding coach, offensively and defensively. One of my major attributes is getting the ball 1v1 and taking players on. So the team tried to put me in positions to do that, which helps a lot. Defensively as well, he expects a lot because we press high very much, whichever opposition, even City, a team that plays from the back, but we press really, really high, and that's comes with a lot of running demands and high intensity movement and stuff like that. So yeah, the demand from him is very high, but it's really, really helps the team, and you can see from some of the games already. To be honest, the whole squad tried to, not just me, all the new players, they try to integrate as much as possible. But say Kevin Danso, he's a Ghanaian as well, but yeah, grew up in Austria, so I think that Ghanaian connection is already there from the start because we speak the same local language and stuff. But all the other guys try to help in their best way possible, yeah. I think it's just whatever happened on the pitch stays on the pitch, Yeah, I was just fuming that game and I just reacted straight away. And then it's done and dusted after the game, so it was nice. Playing with him now, it's a small world in football, so just try to patch up and move on.
Tottenham Hotspur against Arsenal.
I was really surprised, because that's even outside UK, so I can't even imagine what it would be like over here. It was a really, really nice game. It was good we got the win as well. First win with the North London Derby, the energy, the fans, it's crazy, but I think it will be massive to play the one down here in England. Finishing top 4 is a very reasonable challenge for us this season, Staying fit the whole season, winning a trophy. I think we play in almost all the competition this season, Premier League, Champions League. So winning a trophy will be a successful season for me. But I think you represent your country is like a one-time thing, That's the one with the biggest emotion and feeling for me, Obviously, AFCON is also one major tournament that the country love and wants to participate in. Not qualifying was a big disappointment, but I think the full focus now is on the World Cup qualifiers. We have to qualify that at all costs, and I think we are on the right path now. So yeah, just keep going. 2010, we went all the way to quarterfinals.
Suarez is sent off.
And I believe this squad can even do more than that, But first, we have to qualify, and then we can focus on the tournament itself. It's easy to always focus on the bigger goal of wanting to win the Champions League, World Cup, but focusing on today's training step by step gets you there. So just one day at a time, do whatever you want to feel in your belly, whatever you feel in your guts, follow that, and listen to the close people, the loved ones around you, because there's a lot of noise around football. So you have to take the perfect advice for the people who will be there regardless. So I grew up in...
That's it.
In terms of what he was saying about the North London derby, I mean, we've seen it, how it's so hard for teams to create against Arsenal and even beat their players one-on-one. They ain't coming to get up against the one-on-one demon that is Mohamed Kudus yet.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for the North London derby.
Mm-hmm. I'm really excited to see what he can do specifically in that game.
Kudus has got a massive job on his hands now, because we have got a mad run of fixtures now, from now until the end of November. Like, seriously. Like, we got Villa next. They've just started to turn a corner. 4 wins on the bounce, or whatever it is, 3 or 4. After that, we got Champions League. Then we go to Everton away, which everyone's struggling at their new stadium. Newcastle away in the Cup. Then we got a mad run of like Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, with Champions League sprinkled in there as well. So we're going to see what we're made of, and particularly what Mohamed Kudus is made of over this next
very
month and a half.
reliant on him.
Yeah, and we're going to need to be even
So
more.
reliant on him.
We're going to need to be even more reliant on him in these games.
I hope so. I hope not.
Yeah, but
hopefully, look.
There's no one in the forward line that has anywhere close to his ability. That's the reality.
Look, he offers something that no one else in our team offers. It doesn't mean we have to be solely reliant on him, but which we are at the moment, but unfortunately. But
you got to expect that Xavi.
Yeah, Xavi will be more integrated. I think Odegaard and Tell can start contributing more. I think Odegaard's looked a bit better when he's starting to get a few consistent run of games. Doggy has been much better at left wing. You've got Solanke and Moani coming back soon as well. They'll be back after international break. So hopefully we're going to see a few different more dynamics after the international break.
Can you see us picking up a good few points in these games?
Yeah, we haven't lost. We only lost 1 game, sorry. So I don't think we're going to lose all those games. I think we'll pick up points for sure. We've already shown we can play in the big games anyway. So
yeah.
I'm not saying we're going to win all of them, but we'll be competitive. I'm not worried about
them. Yeah, I'm just trying to, like, we got to show more at home.
For sure.
Away, I've been very happy with what we've shown away from home so far. It's just the home games have flattered to deceive. Like, we've played 3 home games this season: Burnley, Bournemouth, and Wolves. And you really expect 9 points from those games.
Even as well.
Yeah, but if
wasn't a great performance.
You really expect those 9 points from those opening 3 home games. You know, we've only picked up 4, which has been a big disappointment. But you know, away from home, I think the way we're playing football is much more set up to play away from home than at home. You know, we haven't really locked down that kind of dominating games yet and taking the game to the opposition. But now Xavi has come in, and now he should be a little bit more integrated. That should change a little bit, I hope.
Yeah, and I think, as I said, Frank, it's still very new to him. He's still figuring it out. So I know it was disappointing not to get 9 points out. And I know Bournemouth, they're a very good team. That can happen. Wolves was the big disappointing one, obviously. How badly we played in that second half. But first half, we could have been 1 or 2 up as well. So, that if you don't take your chances, that can happen. So, I'm confident he'll figure it out. I really am, and I think he's doing very well. He's doing a really good job. I think things need to improve. Don't get me wrong, we're not there yet, but who expected to be there after 7 games?
Yeah, I mean, if you would have offered us where we're at right now after 7 games, second international break, you would have grabbed it with both hands for sure. Villa at home is a big test, though, in terms of the home situation that we've been talking about. They've seemed to have turned a corner, and we need to turn them back round that corner. That's the reality. With Monaco, though, midweek, do you think we see a similar lineup that we played against Bodo? Do you think it'll be stronger?
I hope not. You know what I mean? I hope. Look, there's going to have to be some changes. Don't get me wrong, but I hope it's not as many as we saw in Bodo. Like we need, but hopefully we'll have some more forward options by then. So maybe it won't have to be so drastic.
The beauty of it is that I'm looking at all these games, albeit it's hard. I'm going into each and every one of those games with the belief that we can win. Whereas last season there was just so many games where I was just, you're in the build up to it and you're just like, we got no chance here. We got no chance. We're just going to wait to die, and that's what happened more times than not. But the belief is back, and that's a massive thing in my opinion. If you've got belief, you never know where that can take you.
A lot of the Leeds supporters are saying the Tottenham away in there was one of the strongest they've seen. And come to Ellen Road. Maybe that shows how the belief is back.
Wish I was there. I want to see that related to into the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's been a bit, in terms of atmosphere-wise, been a bit up and down. I expected a lot more in that Villarreal game where it was like an unbelievable build-up inside the stadium. And once the game started, it was just so flat. And that Wolves game as well, they did some crazy build-up to that game as well inside the stadium, and then it was just a bit flat during the game. So I want to see the Spurs fans turn up a bit more at home, and maybe that has something to do with the way the players are performing as well. So, yeah, look, interesting times, exciting times ahead, times full of belief, and I think we can pick up a significant point tally from now until the end of November.
3 of our next 4 games are away.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how it suit us.
It will suit us. And we've got 3 home games in a row after that.
I see, that won't suit us.
Yeah. Chelsea, Copenhagen and Man United. So, yeah, big months ahead. And if we're like in and around where we're at by the end of November after all those hard games, I think that would be quite significant.
I agree. And as long as we're in touching distance, as I said, I really believe second half of the season is when we're probably going to be really getting going. So as long as we can get through this first, 19 games in and around it, then we put us in a very good position. I think, going into the second half of the season.